You should never cheap out on your case. I need to talk about something. So right about now, I was supposed to be making my Superman review. I went and I watched Superman, but I decided to buy my brother an AIO for his birthday. He told me that his PC gets hot, that his PC, after a bit of time of using it, thermal throttles. He basically described thermal throttling to me, okay? And I decided, okay, I'm gonna get him an AIO. I look up the case's description and I see it's gonna fit a 240 millimeter. It's a 2-fan AIO. I forgot the exact number. I have it, 240 AIO. So I get my brother's PC while he's not at home and he's at work, and I go to install it, right? And I said, oh, while I do this, I'm gonna completely clean it, right? No dust, no nothing. And on top of that, I am also going to make his cable management better. So I got the PC entirely, like I was building it again. I cleaned it, and I go to mount the motherboard, and I put the AIO, and the AIO is like this thick. This is the radiator. This is how thick the radiator is. This is how thick the fans are. The fans couldn't be put in place because of the RAM sticks. I couldn't physically fit that AIO in there. And the front of the case had this like weird casing where I think I would have to break the case to get the fans out. So where is this going? Where is this rant going to take me? I'll tell you. This rant is going to take me into: you should never cheap out on your case. Whenever we were building his PC, I wanted to get the bang for the buck. I wanted to get, like, for his specific scenario, I wanted to get the most amount of... I wanted to squeeze as much performance as I could, right? So we did that, basically. But the problem is, we cheaped out on the CPU cooler. We cheaped out on the motherboard. And we didn't even buy him memory, we got him the old memory. That bit us in the ass later. So, every decision that we made to cheap out bit us in the ass later. Every single one of those decisions. Why am I making this video? To tell you, do not cheap out on your case. A lot of these cases, like this one, I have Alpha Gear, look at this shit. Literally, the freaking thing fell off, look at this shit. It fell off. He has a Alpha Gear Trickster, I think, or what the fuck was it called? It's like it's a no brand, basically. And I am telling you, bros, whenever I couldn't fit that AIO and I had the power supply completely taken out, all of the cables taken out, everything taken out, and I had to get him, because he works on that PC, I had to get it, he has like a part-time on that PC, and I had to get him, I had to get the PC ready really quickly. I was panicking. Oh my fucking god, I had the PC butchered. Hold on. I have the heatsink literally right here. I mean, like, look, I'm gonna be honest. I said we cheaped out on the heatsink. We didn't really. But his ambient temperature is really high. My brother cannot handle AC. He's like a bitch. So he cannot handle AC. And because of that, in his room, it's incredibly hot, especially with the PC. So it was logical to get an AIO, because that cares less about room temperature than the air cooling, right? But I'm gonna be honest, boys. If I were to go back in time, I would buy him a proper case. I would buy him proper memory, M.2 memory. And I would also buy him an AIO. Why do I say this? Because AIOs, like, I watch, like, for example, I watch Gamers Nexus, right? And I saw these videos, and he showed the graphs. And there was barely any difference. There was, like, maybe a 2 degrees difference. Sometimes even the air cooling beat it. But in real life, I do not see that. I do not see that. I am telling you, my PC never has stress on the CPU. Never. I am telling you, with my brother, for example, he just with one fan, because I did like a sketchy ass, I put the radiator alone, and I put a single fan outside of the box until I order him a new case whenever it's Monday, because now it's Sunday. Who is delivering now? So, I'm good. That's temporary fix. But I would tell you, and even my bro told me that he got an AIO and it increased the temps, not increased, decreased the temps so much. I swear to God, either this is the case that Gamer Nexus makes, like, or Linus Tech Tips or all of these like reviewers, either is the case that whenever you put it under extreme load and the fans are at full blast, that they kind of cancel out, but at idles and at normal use, AIO is the way to go. So I would suggest you get an AIO 2, even if it's a 2 fan, it's a big W. I also was like, oh, because I did research on this, and by research I watched like 2 or 3 20-minute videos of like stats and whatever from Gamers Nexus, Linus Tech Tips, whatever, whoever I could find, another guy, but I forgot his name. And I saw the charts, and there was like a 2 degrees difference. What is that? But this doesn't reflect in real life, bro. What the fuck? How do they get these fucking numbers, bro? How do they... Am I taking crazy pills? I do not understand, bro. Anyway, do not cheap out on your case. I'm gonna be honest. With PC parts, you don't cheap out, period, I would tell you. Period, you don't cheap out on anything. Because it's gonna bite you in the ass later. Not with power supply, not with memory, not with motherboards, not with anything. Literally anything. If I could even say what you could cheap out on is literally what you think you couldn't cheap out on. For example, you could cheap out on the CPU, because CPUs are literally fucking are immortal. It's like you can find one on second-hand markets, and it's definitely gonna be good for normal case uses. Okay, on GPUs, you don't need a fucking giga powerful, uber powerful GPU. You can get a Intel Battlemage, whatever, and just play on 180p or play at medium settings. It's totally fine. If the drivers allow it, it's totally fine. Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I feel like a lot of people, me myself included, I used to, CPU and GPU. Nah, bro. Take away the budget from the CPU, take away the budget from the GPU, and level it out. Because it's gonna come to bite you in your ass later. If you cheap out on RAM, if you cheap out on literally anything, bro. It's gonna bite you in your ass. So, that's what I wanna say. Also, I see a lot of people, everybody that comes to me, PCs. They only want to buy a PC once every 5 to 6 years and never touch it again. That is not happening, lol, bro. That is not happening. Firstly, you need to change the thermal paste. Best case scenario every year. Worst case scenario at least every 2 years. I would say every 1 year. Secondly, my problem with that is planned obsolescence. Do you think they're making these GPUs with 8 gigabytes of VRAM because they think that this is actually beneficial for the people? No. They know that in 2 or 3 years this will not cut it. So they put 8 gigabytes of VRAM so that people stingy out on buying a 12, 16 gig VRAM card, and then now I'm literally locked. I literally physically cannot play my video game because I'm literally capped on the memory. I'm telling you, bro, the memory is not expensive compared to the GPU die. They could put more memory in there. I've seen people solder memory. I've seen people on a 4090 solder memory on for crypto mining and for rendering and for stuff like that, to put it in a workstation. And most of the time it works, especially for AI modeling and training and whatever. Anyway, watch the Linus Tech Tips videos about it. It's really interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you, bros. Since I've started getting into PC building, I found that technology has gotten far. For example, laptops. Back in my day, to get a laptop that was palpable to playing video games, you would have to break the bank. Equivalent of nowadays of spending $2,000 to $3,000. Equivalent. It's not 1-to-1, but back in the day, there used to be real money. Now it's like monopoly money. But nowadays, I go to pick out, I have an architecture friend. She got into architecture and she told me that she needs to buy a laptop. Totally fine. Let's go. Let's look for it. And I see that 4060s with 8 gigs of VRAM, designated GPU laptops, are around $1,000. And I go, Jesus Christ, bro. Jesus, if I tried to buy one of these now, back in my day, or whenever I was playing World of Warcraft 8 hours a day, I would go bankrupt, bro. That would be at least the equivalent of that would be at least $2,000 of that equivalent. That's what I mean. It's like real money. It was back then. Now $2,000. It's like oh, I can buy at least one loaf of bread. I'm kidding. Because some people literally take me literally. You know what I mean. But yeah, I'm telling you, if you want to get into gaming, now is the time. Laptops are really inexpensive. Like I got my mom a laptop. It was 2,800 lei for a Ryzen 7 7700. I forgot the laptop kind, 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM. It didn't have a designated GPU. Why would we need a designated GPU for a browsing or like a laptop that is basically for accounting and stuff like that? No reason, right? And for Office and for whatever Excel. I don't know how to pronounce that in English. I'm sorry, boys. But anyway, why would I get that? No reason. So I got her that laptop. I'm genuinely surprised at how snappy that is, bro. It literally, bro. Like, let's say for casual use, I barely can spot the difference between that laptop and my PC. My PC was €2,000 with white parts. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't have, like, if I could go in the past, I would still get white parts because I got pretty good deals on them. Like, everybody that I talk to that knows PC building and I tell them what prices I paid for the individual pieces of hardware, they tell me that was a good deal. My bro set it up, my bro Emmanuel, that's a W guy, even though his name is like a gangbanging Christians, it's like, but that guy set me up really nicely. He's a W. And he told me to buy an AMD CPU, and I told him, no, I won't. And that came to bit me in my ass. So, moral of the story. Do not listen to yourself. Listen to other people. W's in the chat for that. Anyway, I'm gonna make my Superman video. Check that out, please. Because the algorithm has not been treating your boy really good lately. Too many Netanyahu jokes and too many women jokes. I'm gonna be honest. They fucking shoveled me down at the end of the barrel, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna be streaming Marvel Rivals after I finish these videos. Okay, so tune into that. Bye bye.